of all, Jimmy, how are the nerves today?
Oh, they're shocking to tell you the truth. Much worse than anything to do with acting, but also very exciting. It's a huge privilege, to have a horse running here anyway, and to have a horse that's in such good nick, and he's got a good chance. I'm thrilled.
And how are your nerves, Niall?
Good, yeah, really good. I think I'd be more nervous if it was Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, we haven't just got you here just because the two of you have got a big day, but there is a link here. The two of you are born in a place very close to each other, aren't you?
Well, not that. I mean, Downpatrick's a bit further down the road from me. I'm right up at the North Coleraine, but no, I know Downpatrick well. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, I'm in the East Coast. I'm in the posher place and his place.
No. It'd be obvious to tell, looking at the both of you, are from the posher place as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, my uncle, well, he was Justice of the Peace in Downpatrick a long time ago. Yeah, which is the most peaceful place to be. Just he had nothing to do.
Now, tell us about the way you spent last night, because I've heard that you were very worried about the rest of the field, and you've been going through the form with a fine-tooth comb.
No, I was actually very good last night now, because I was working in Leeds and I came down, I arrived very late, and I got home at a good time, but the rest of them woke me up at 3, 4, 5 and 6 when they all came in. But no, because I made the mistake a couple of years ago of going through the field quite seriously the night before the Arkle, and so my memories are a wee bit vague, but I want to enjoy all of it today.
Yeah. And Niall, what about you? What did you do last night?
I was a really good Samaritan. I'm staying with the jockey's doctor, Sue Smith, who puts a lot of us up, including Phil Macon, good friend, flat jockey, and there was about 10 of them. I drove to the local Chinese restaurant, picked up a takeaway for them all, brought it back, gave it to them, and then I went to the gym and run off the last few pounds. And then I come back and they were drinking lots of wine and beers, and I sat with them with a glass full of ice cubes and talked to them.
Are you therefore at your racing weight?
I am, yeah. I'm going to go for a couple of laps now, but I'm just about there now.
Blimey. Okay, now talk us through what you've been doing, because obviously we know that you're a very famous actor, and that you've been been filming in New Zealand recently.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
No, I've been doing The Hobbit all of last year. I was in New Zealand with a family, and I'm going back there actually. I'm currently filming a second series of a show called Monroe, about a brain surgeon. Who knew?
Perfect role for you.
Yeah, so I'm doing that at the minute, then I go back to New Zealand and we finish up The Hobbit for another 3 or 4 months.
And what's it like working on that with Peter Jackson? I mean, it must be incredible considering the success of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's it's an extraordinary adventure, and he's a great man, very down to earth. I mean, it's an epic country and it's an epic couple of films we're making, hopefully, so it's been just an extraordinary experience.
Do you think it'll be as successful as Lord of the Rings?
Well, I think it'll open, and I hope so. I mean, there's all sorts of press embargoes on it, of course, at the minute. There's great secrecy, but I think, visually he's the master, and also he knows those books and that writing very better than anyone, so I think it'll be an experience, all right.
Have you ever fancied yourself as an actor? No?
The only acting I done was I was trying to pull a sickie to get off school to go to the local race meeting. So
did it work?
It did, yeah. And then my parents eventually, more my father and my mother, eventually gave in. And they knew I was just acting to get off. But apart from that, no, I don't think he's any threat, really.
You haven't fancied getting on a horse, have you?
Well, I've been doing a bit of horse riding out there, but no, I think Barry Garrity's safe at the minute,
If we get a little bit more into Riverside Theatre, because of course the stable are badly out of form, so is Barry Garrity.
Oh no, it's extraordinary. I mean, yesterday was an incredible day, and I'm just so pleased for Nicky. He's the loveliest man, and for me to have had this sort of racing adventure with Nicky has been really the highlight of it. I'm very lucky. I'm blessed with the 3 other owners, Brian Sturt Brown, who got me into it, who had great horses in the past, Deep Sensation and Large Action, but yeah, the stable's fantastic. The horse is good. I know questions are asked about can he handle the left-handed track. Is there a bounce factor? But I mean, he's a good horse. He's only ever run here once before, and the Arkle. I mean, I think that in hindsight the trip probably wasn't right. I mean, he came flying home in that. So we know he can go up the hill. And I just hope if he's in contention, 2 or 3 out, I think he'll do well.
Yeah, well, of course, Niall, in his new role as an expert on Racing UK, you could perhaps give us your thoughts on Riverside Theatre's chances this afternoon.
It's a cracking ride air this year. The Queen Mother maybe lacked a bit of depth to it yesterday, but it's quality. You can make a case for a lot of them, but Riverside Theatre's got to be top of your list, I think. And a lot of people were saying about not acting on the track. I thought it was nonsense. He made a bad mistake early in the Arkle, and as Jimmy said, he rattled home. Horses are flying. Gorgeous looking son of King Cedar. He's impressive at Ascot. He's lightly raced. He's open to improvement where a couple of these possibly aren't. The likes of your Alberto's run, who still you command respect. Obviously won the race the last twice, but we haven't seen him from October. I thought there was question marks over more horses in the race than Riverside Theatre. I thought he was solid and deserved to be.
Well, I think at Ascot he did very well. I mean, he travelled beautifully, he jumped fantastically, and we know he can stay after the King George. So I mean, you know, he definitely wants it.
Is there any concern whatsoever the fact that he had a long layoff before Ascot, and he did travel and jump, and he looked at an absolute peak that day? Is there any concern that there may be a bounce factor involved?
I mean, you can tell me. I mean, of course he is very good first time out, but he's, you know, Nicky's very, very pleased with him. And as you say, I mean, I think Nicky thought there was room for improvement even after Ascot. So we just have to hope and see. You know, we don't know until it starts.
Yeah. No, your thoughts? On the bounce factor?
I think nowadays is maybe less of a matter. There's lots of things. If he gets beat today, you can blame this, whatever. There's loads of excuses. But I think now the training establishment, the method of training has changed. Horses are more professionally trained. They're fitter. In the olden days, their first run used to take that much out of them, and that's why they bounced second time. I don't really run into the bounce factor. If he pulls up today or whatever, I won't be quick to say he bounced. I don't.
I also thought it was an incredible training performance that Nicky did at Ascot. You know, I mean, because that, of course, was a very nerve-wracking time for us. Because I mean, he had been out for the year. We didn't really know what he was going to be like. It was a serious injury he had, but you know, he worked a week before, and I spoke to Nicky, and he said, "Oh no, he's ready." And I think Nicky would feel the same about today.
Well, seeing that you're doing so well, you know, with all these immensely successful films, and you're about to be part of what could be another epic, you're going to have more horses in training?
No, sure. I'd be happy with this one. You know, I was lucky. I'm sure there's a lot of viewers there going, "What a jammy!" You know, with his first horse doing that. And so I think we'll see how it goes. I mean, I love it, and I'll certainly stay involved in racing because it's an incredible community to be in. You know, it's the best sporting community to be in, to tell you the truth, because all walks of life are here. You know, and I would urge people who don't go to get down to racing because it's a fantastic day out. You know.
Do you enjoy doing all this PR for racing? Obviously, you've done the morning line. You're doing this for Racing UK. And in fairness, every time the horse runs, you're always willing to do these interviews. Do you enjoy it?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily enjoy it, but I think, to tell you the truth, I've got a responsibility. I mean, racing's been very good to me now, and I think I should be good to it. And if I can in any way encourage people who aren't as knowledgeable, who aren't as who don't consider a sport they would be involved in, if I can do anything to kind of change that, then I'd be very happy to do it.
Racing's happy to have you as well.